papas.
The Parliament of
Ooh,
Papas.
parliamentaries upon us.
Yeah. So this one, I'm pretty sure Charles put in the notes. We're going to steal it. So hopefully he doesn't get too angry.
He won't miss it.
But it comes to us from Car Woes Sad Bro on Reddit. It's Am I the Buttface Reddit? It says, am I the buttface for vetoing my wife's car purchase in the dealership and walking out of there without looking at the car she picked out?
Oh.
So here we go. Let's get into some context here.
Yeah, we need to hear this one.
So he's a 29. So I'll say the ages here because sometimes if you read them in stream, it can get confusing. But so he is 29. His wife is 27. So my wife is a stay-at-home mom by her choice until the kids are old enough to go to school. Her older Honda SUV recently bit the dust when it needed some major repairs that totaled more than the value of her car. This was right at the beginning of the work week for me, so I unfortunately didn't have time to sit with her and look at cars immediately. I told her she can do some research first and she can hold off until my day's off and we could do some research together. I gave her a maximum budget of $20,000, but it was flexible if she found something she really liked. In the meantime, I lent her my car, which is a Mustang Mach-E, and he took public transport / Uber to get to work during the week. On one of his half days, he called. So he says, I get a call from my wife saying that I need to come to a dealership after work and look at a new car she wants. Get a sinking feeling knowing she went to a dealership without me, knowing how predatory they can be. So I asked her for the address. It's a Lexus dealer. I asked her who recommended it, and she said that one of her friends has a boyfriend who works there and that they would work out a nice deal for her. That friend happens to drive a Lexus and managed to get my wife in love with her car. I get off work and drove over to the dealership. On the phone with my wife, I locate her and this car sales professional, in quotes. I ask if she's seen and driven the car. She says yes. She likes it. I ask the salesman, how much is it? Out the door, which, as a side note, that is a very good question to ask. How much it is out the door. Because a lot of places have dealership fees and other things. So yeah, asking out the door price.
Yep.
That is a very good thing to do.
Yep.
Well, and especially because if you're buying it from a different state, you want to know how they're going to handle the sales tax, because if they don't charge you sales tax at the dealership, which not all of them do.
Not all states do it. No.
When you register the car in your state, you'll be hit with the sales tax. So that's something to keep in mind. So asking out the door and also asking if that includes sales tax, very good things to know, because you always want to make an informed decision. All right, so back to this. He says, well, your wife and I were discussing some options. How much do you have down? I said, honey, we're not buying a car today. Let's go. She asks why. I say, because he can't give us a straight answer about how much the car costs. He says, hold on, and prints out the sheet. So far, I am with him. If they're not even going to tell you how much it is,
right?
They're getting ready to hit you with all kinds of hidden stuff. And my wife puts in here, Joe is speaking from recent experience. Yes. Yeah. When you look at the price on the website, and then all of a sudden it's, $4,000 or $5,000 more expensive when you get the printout. Yeah. I learned very quick to ask what the out the door price is.
Yeah.
So they print out the sheet. The used 2020 Lexus GX 460 she was looking at was an eye-watering $56,000 after taxes, fees, and add-ons. So her original budget was $20,000.
Hmm.
And she's looking at a $56,000 car. Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, no, honey, that's not what we agreed on. She asked if I could at least look at the car before I left, but I said no. The salesman tried to butter me up and sell me on the car, and they said and say they could work on the price, but I just took the keys from my wife and left. Eventually, I was able to sit her down and show her some much more affordable options that wouldn't require us financing the car and go back into debt. She ended up purchasing a nice used Honda Pilot Touring that she ended up liking. Honda Pilot's a nice car,
That's good.
very reasonable.
Very reliable too.
Yeah. That car, all told, purchase price and then some overdue maintenance items came out to about $21,000.
Not bad.
This incident in the grand scheme of marriage was a blip, but she did say I seemed cold and unreceptive to what she wanted at the dealership. But I defended myself by saying that the sales strategy in a dealership sometimes is to make one spouse love the car and make that spouse feel like the salesperson is on their side so that they might purchase a car from them even if it's not a good decision for the couple. Am I the buttface for how I handled the dealership situation? Her friend is also a little upset I treated her boyfriend rudely at the dealership. But from my perspective, that wasn't my wife's friend's partner. That was a car salesman trying to put us in $800 a month worth of debt for the next 5 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be careful with that because you look really shiny. I mean, you go in there, trying to buy what you need. I mean, you can buy what you want. I mean, those are two different car buying strategies right there. Yeah. The guy drives a Mustang E. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit kind of like, okay, really? Okay. But, I just recently was looking at, I've been wanting to buy a Bronco, and really like them. I've driven a few of them. I found one, the price looked pretty decent, and I went to drive it. And in this case, previous owner was a kid, and he had taken the muffler off and put on something more aggressive sounding. And on the highway, it was loud and obnoxious. I'm like, I'm not that guy, of course they're like, hey, we'll deal with you. I'm like, no, I'm not going to buy what I don't want. But at the same time, you also have to consider things like you said, taxes, all the little things, the dealer fees. Hey, what's the insurance going to be on that? Lexus, luxury vehicles, man, insurance. Yeah. You can do a comparable vehicle, and as soon as you put the word Lexus on it, that's a whole different tier.
And I found, at least while we were shopping around for our car, there were very, very few dealerships that were willing to negotiate on price. Most of them were, no, what we posted on the website is what we're asking.
Yeah.
And they would rather let it sit on their lot and bring it down every couple of weeks. They would bring down the price just a little bit, and they would just wait it out. And it was very, very jarring from past experiences. And this is, post COVID, that I'm guessing that's just how it is these days.
Well, the used market was so it was so ramped up during COVID.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know exactly. I kind of got the same feeling a little bit. Of course, I didn't want to negotiate very much because I wasn't going to buy it. So what's the point?
Yeah.
Although I said, yeah, hey, if it had a different muffler on it, and of course he's like, well, some people, that might be a selling point. I'm like, well, then you should sell it to them. Whoa, wait a second. What if we replace it? And suddenly, oh yeah, negotiation. But I was not really. Got 2 weeks of Dragon Con, and I wasn't going to mess around with all that.
Yeah. So, but in this specific scenario, I'm with him all the way, to be completely honest. the fact that his wife was so completely out of the ballpark with and obviously we're only getting this from his side
Yeah.
of it, so I don't know what their communication style is. I don't know how they do their finances or anything like that. And like you said,
Yeah.
he has a Mustang Mach-E. You know,
Okay.
I could see why she might think, oh, I want something a little bit nicer.
Right.
And so, but just from his point of view, assuming that she agreed with that budget, because the way he said it, I gave her a maximum budget. That's how he phrased it. It wasn't we discussed and we came to this decision. So let's give him the benefit of the doubt and assume that she agreed with the budget, which
Right.
I'm guessing she really didn't. But let's assume she did. The fact that she was looking at something $56,000, it was like, duh, that's a no.
Yeah.
There's no discussion to be had there. It's if it was a few $1,000s difference,
Yeah.
that'd be very different. But yeah.
I mean, there's been times like, I mean, you go in and you look at this car and you're like, well, I really like that. And and then at the end of it, you have to sometimes, is this reasonable, regardless. And then go back to, really, I need to buy the car at the budget that I plan to buy. That's the whole thing. You should never buy anything, the first time. First day when you walk in, you should always come back. Now sales, what is it? It's like 90% chance. I think they always say is 90% chance that if the person walks away, they won't come back to buy it, and they know that, and so they're of course very interested in keeping you there to try to convince you.
Well, and they try to keep you there. I guarantee this is a tactic. They try to keep you there longer for a sunk fallacy emotional purchase. I've already been here looking at stuff for hours. I need to bring something home. And so some of the biggest power that you can have in these scenarios is being willing to walk away.
I mean, I was looking at I really was like, can I really get this? But there's some point you're like, no, the reality kicks in. And that's a trick. You can't let that emotional tie override your rationality.
Yeah, we for a little while we were looking at what we ended up getting is a Toyota Highlander.
Oh, that's nice.
And we had decided on a Highlander or a Pilot. We had looked at a little bit at both, but we were leaning more towards the Toyota pretty early on. And we were casting a very wide net in our search, looking as though I'm in Tennessee. We were looking down in Florida, looking up in Virginia, looking in Ohio. Like we cast a pretty wide net, and we almost, one of the front runners towards the end was actually one with a rebuilt title.
Oh, okay. Okay. I mean,
it depends.
Salvage titles can be fine.
It depends on what it was salvaged or rebuilt due to. And this particular one was due to hail damage. It wasn't due to a collision. And they didn't actually even fix most of the hail damage. They fixed the windshield and I think that's it. And so they did what they had to. And because it was a rebuilt title, that means it had to go through some kind of process to say that it's drivable, whereas salvage titles don't necessarily have that qualification. So we were seriously considering that for a while because it was only a couple of years old with only like 20,000 miles on it or something like that.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah. And a comparable version, but without the hail damage, would have been like $10,000 more expensive than this one with hail damage. And so we were seriously considering that, and my mother-in-law was like, you should get a whole bunch of different colors of paint and paint each hail blip a different color, so you got a polka dot car and things like that. And yeah, so Yeah. Main dude. Car went through one
That
hail
was
of a
good.
time. Yeah, no, it was all kinds of
Nice.
pockmarked. And actually, one of the selling points for that particular place was the price that they put on their website was the price other than sales tax. There weren't any hidden dealer fees or anything like that. But we ended up buying one. The one we got was like $3,000 more with actually less miles and same year and no rebuilt title. And so we're like, that extra $3,000 is well worth that from that perspective, to not have a rebuilt title and to not have the hail damage and have comparable miles. But yeah, it was good. We're loving our choice. But yeah,
Well, good for you.
yeah, I by
I
the
hate
end,
buying cars. I hate
oh
buying
yeah,
cars.
I swear, I was getting so many callbacks. I'm just like, okay, uh, who are you? Like, I know you're calling about a Toyota Highlander, but so I ended up, I made a spreadsheet, and I had written down on the spreadsheet. Let's see, let me pull it up so I can be a little bit more accurate here. So I had on here the price on the website, the mileage, the year, the trim, and specifically one of the things that I was started to write down was the stock number that was on the website, so that whenever they would call me back, I'm like, okay, what's the stock number? So that way I could add it to my net to the right row of notes. But I had where it was located. I had the person who I had been talking to, their name, their phone number, and the website link. Like, I had this all written out. And what I actually found is I could copy the spreadsheet into ChatGPT and ask for it to give me an analysis on the pros and cons of the different vehicles.
Oh, yeah.
And it would give me different things different to consider about the different ones, and give me its recommendations. And yeah, but yeah, the people we ended up going to, a lot of dealerships are not like this, but the guy that I talked to, I actually sent him links to our front runners, and he said, he looked at them and he said, okay, this one I wouldn't do for these reasons, and they were legitimate reasons. And he's like, out of the ones you gave me, this is the one I would buy. And then he proceeded to say, this is the best we can do as a comparable offer. And his was only a couple $1,000s more than our front runner at that point. But the reason, and this is going to be something that not everyone's going to experience, the reason he was helping us out so much is because the owner of the dealership is a friend of a friend of a friend. So
oh, okay.
We knew them. And even before, when he gave us the best that they could do, he was like, this is what it's listed for. We're going to automatically knock $5,000 off. So we didn't have to negotiate or anything. He's like, this is a family and friends $5,000 discount.
Good for you.
So, yeah.
And you were talking about the guy. The guy was feeling feelings were hurt because they didn't buy from him. He was rude. You know, it's his job. I mean,
yeah.
Come on. It comes to the territory. You got to have some thick skin when you're in sales.
Yep.
You know, well, you didn't buy. It's almost a tactic unto itself. I hate to say it.
Yeah. Well, what you need to do is you need to leverage that sunk cost fallacy into them. By you being willing to walk away, they want to make the deal.
Yeah.
But what I've also found, main dude,
he's just throwing his. Hey, I can't pay attention to him because
in this car. It's true. It's true. But yeah, no, they want to get the sale. Now, like I said, a lot of them were not willing to negotiate the price. And what I also found is a lot of the salesmen were not allowed to negotiate the price. You actually had to go to their sales supervisor or sales manager, and
Yeah.
they were the only ones allowed to negotiate the price. And so I'm like, okay, so you're not really a salesman. You're just hey, this is what we have on our
Right.
website. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I can get all that from your website. Why do I need to
Yeah.
talk to you? Type of thing.
Sometimes it's a bit of a tactic too. I mean, they
Yeah.
know what because for them, it's margin, and so they don't
Mhm.
want to lose their margin. But by, well, yeah, he just won't let me go down. Well, he doesn't want to go down. I mean, his
Yeah,
commission is often
he can
tied
make
to
the
that.
other person the bad guy.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, I
exactly.
can't. My hands are tied. I can't do anything. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Well, and my wife and they're like, she's put in there, said yes, they had a lasso around John, me. Yeah, and they do that. I mean, again, they know I came in there looking specifically at that and for that car. They're going to try to, emotionally blackmail you. You want to ride it, it's great. But at the end of the day, like you said, if you're willing to walk away, you may actually get a better deal. In my case, I wasn't interested in it, but
Yeah. Well, and it's so
you did a
funny.
great job. By the way, that whole idea of the comparison, that's great. I mean, that's how you should do it, especially you have that ability or that time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I work from home, so when my wife needed to drive around, she would drive in my car. Granted, it's a little bit more squishy than what we got because I've got a Rav4, so not having that third row. I mean, we've only got 3 kids, but legally speaking,
Oh,
our oldest is not, at least according to Tennessee laws, is not old enough to sit in shotgun. And so squishing all 3 in the back with one still being in a booster seat,
it's
um,
tight.
yeah, it can be a bit of a tight squeeze, especially when you're turning corners and the booster seat is flying around. But yeah, no,
Well, good for you. I'm glad
yeah,
that worked out. I'm really glad it did.
it did. So, yep. So I think we're in agreement that the way he phrased it, he's not the butt face, but I'm guessing his communication skills could use a lot
Really could work on
more
that a
work.
little bit. Yeah.
Because the fact that she thought that $56,000 would be even a viable option really speaks volumes to the lack of communication that was actually done versus the facts as presented by the OP. But this did not have a verdict on it. A lot of times Reddit will have a verdict on whether they deem them the butt face or not. And this one, it does not have an overall verdict. I'm going to look at the
Was
top
the
several
yeah.
comments to see. Let's see. The first 3 are all not the butt face ones. Not the butt face. Most of them seem to be not the butt face. So the verdict, it's not officially labeled by the mods of the subreddit, but just at a passing glance, it seems that the internet also says not the butt face. One person's calling him out, though, saying that it's a made-up story, because in the story, he says that he was taking public transport, but then later he says he got off work and drove over to the dealership. I'm assuming he took
Well,
an Uber and just said drove
yeah.
to the dealership. But yeah, people are being a little pedantic. So
And also, if think about it, this guy's driving around and he's letting her borrow it or what. I think he's probably a little bit on the pissy side because he wants his car back. So, but at the same, so he's probably getting a bit of a mood.
yep. But then there's other people calling him out about how much did his Mustang cost.
I know. I mean, that's what I was thinking. Like, that is not a cheap car. Not.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So you get your $20,000 and I get my Mustang E.
Mm-hmm.